The following program is a public access production. Comcast is required to provide time on this channel and make it available pursuant to franchise agreements with the communities we serve. Comcast is not affiliated with the following program or the producers of public access programming and is not responsible for the content. The following program does not reflect the opinions of Comcast or its affiliates.
The radio show is about to begin. It might just ring a bell. Live local music with your host Al Weisman. It's in a nutshell.
Step up to the mic, state your names, the names of the towns in which you live, and maybe a little bit about yourselves, please.
Okay, is that me on first?
That is you first.
First, excellent. My name is Colleen Karazic, and I am out of Lake in the Hills, Illinois. Technically, classically trained violist who does violin and fiddle now with Judson Brown, who's sitting next to me, giving me the eye. So
Very cool.
That's what
go
I do.
ahead. Let's see what you got.
And Mr. Brown, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Judson Brown. I have headphones now. That's
Go
cool.
talk into the mic so that people will be able to hear you.
Yeah. All right. Now I know what it sounds like. Excellent. Okay, my name is Judson Brown. I play guitar. I sing. Write a lot of stuff. So I suppose I am a composer, singer-songwriter.
Okay, cool.
And I play in a country rock band called Bella Kane. That's how I pay my bills. And then I do
won, I think, state of best country.
year that I know of, and I have not paid attention to any of the other
Yeah, I looked them up
since
one
then.
time, and it wasn't consecutive years, but they did win twice.
We really did. That's news to me.
Go with it. Take it.
Excellent. Yeah, we're award-winning country rock band,
All right.
country
Woo!
Bella Kane.
By the way, are you familiar with this Nash Next thing that's going on right now?
No.
With Mandy.
Yeah, with Mandy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really pushing Mandy's on.
That's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
She
You know
did
that
well.
she
She's
opened
doing really
at
well.
99 this morning. She was up to
28.
28 when we left to come to the studio.
Nice.
She is
Nice.
very, very good. They were on our show about a year and a half ago. Nice people. Nice.
Like
There
that?
you go.
Yes.
Cool. So I can sing, I can play. You got your...
You can dance if you like.
No, I can't dance. Actually.
Oh, I can't help you with that. Though.
Something will break, and it will not be ours.
Yeah. I'm just gonna adjust myself here. What do you wanna do? Come Home on a Sunday? That's original song. Cool. That I wrote. Colleen has her sheet music on an iPad because we're in the 21st century.
Totally state of the art. Did the two of you wrote this together?
I wrote this one.
Yes.
I wrote this one in an interesting story. I improvised the violin parts on my violin, and then I transcribed my own violin part for her to play so she could play it in tune. That's the word.
Oh.
I'm not a very good
Is there a
violinist.
difference between your violins? Or?
Yeah, there's a pretty big difference between our violins. She's good at it, and I'm not.
Oh.
You know, it's a,
2, 1, 2, ready, go. I was too messed up to talk with you last night. But I was hoping I could call you up today. When I saw him in our bed, I don't know things I said. Now you ask, can you come back and clear the air? Well, if you wanna come home on a Sunday, I'll send up a prayer for you. And if you wanna come home on a Friday, there's plenty of things to do. On a cold September morning, when there's dew still on the lawn, you can come back anytime, 'cause I'll be gone. You know I don't need to listen to you lie. I don't have to give you sympathy, 'cause I wasted 7 tears, then took our way to 25 to a better life. If you wanna come home on a Sunday, I'll send up a prayer for you. And if you wanna come home on a Friday, there's plenty of things to do. In the misty hush of evening, on the bleeding skies of dawn, you can come back anytime, 'cause I'll be gone. If you wanna come home on a Sunday, I'll send up a prayer for you. And if you wanna come home on a Friday, there's plenty of things to do. Take a long walk down our driveway, you can drag it on and on. Yes, you can come back anytime, 'cause I'll be gone. Yes, you can come back anytime, 'cause I'll be gone. You can come back anytime, 'cause I'll be gone.
Nice.
Drum tracks. It'll be a continental effort, this EP. So, working on it.
That's okay.
It's a lot of fun.
You're talking about people in different areas laying down tracks, putting them all together into your album. I played a song last week by Herb Eimerman, who he did the guitar work and the vocals in Lake Villa, Illinois. A guy in Scandinavia did the drums. They sent them all off to Australia where the keyboard was put in and it was produced.
That was cool.
And now it's for sale.
Excellent.
And it sounds great. They have a great sound.
My favorite jazz fusion album, Extraction by Greg Howe, was recorded in 3 different parts of the country.
People are doing it.
Yeah. Well, that was about, like 15 years ago now, 10 years
wow.
ago. And it's an amazing album, but they never, but if you're Greg Howe, Victor Wooten, and Dennis Chambers, I think you can do it.
You can do it, man.
Yeah.
I want to first say that I met your parents, Judson,
So is everyone.
at our road show, and they seem like genuinely nice people, very, very lovely, and they appear to have one huge interest in common with my wife. They're videographers.
Oh, they're way better than I am.
They were there videoing. You're not our best key parents.
Oh, I will.
And I have to ask Colleen a question. Were you a Suzuki kid?
No. No. Not at all. I was public school, I guess, introduced and raised and started at 10 years old. So, yeah, never Suzuki. Right? You got to choose what you wanted to do in 5th grade.
Okay.
And this is where my dad wants me to tell a story about tuba, and I couldn't put the tuba on the bus. But no, I wanted either viola or saxophone, and I had braces, and they would not let me try saxophone.
Oh, you could.
So-
Exactly. So I took my 5 years of piano lessons, took for another 2 years because I liked it, and then I got into high school and I was like, you know what, video games are so much cooler, I'm just going to do that instead.
Where were you born?
What?
Where did your parents live when you were born?
Oh, in Woodstock, Illinois.
Okay.
So I went to Woodstock High School, and then I saw, if he's listening, he might not be, but I saw Bob Danielson playing his guitar to a Spin Doctor song or something like that
Okay.
on stage, and I just finished playing in the jazz band with my saxophone, and I thought I was pretty cool, but then I saw him just, just rocking out on his guitar.
And this inspired you.
Yeah, I was like, man, I gotta learn how to play guitar, because
Get
I
the hell away from that sax, man, and get into guitar.
yeah,
man.
so I did that. That was my next instrument, and yeah, I play a lot of others. I fake my way through a lot of other things, but guitar that's the real.
You're not supposed
That's
to
the
sing.
real-
That's the real one. I fake my way through the piano. I fake my way through mandolin and violin, singing, but guitar's my thing.
Colleen, do you have any siblings?
No,
How about your parents? Are either of them musical?
no.
Do you have any relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents,
No,
or
my cousin
musical?
did the rock band thing, but it was really, my grandma played accordion, and I have her accordion upstairs.
Really? Like the south side?
North side.
North side?
Yeah, northwest or that side. But, yeah, so this was really, I mean, I know my mom took a guitar course. We always thought my dad was born an opera singer and just never developed the skill. We always talk about that.
He
So
likes to sing.
yeah, I remember him when I was younger always singing. I'm like, oh, I should do something with that. But what do I know?
So grandma's no longer with us? Did she play all of her life?
I'm not sure. Actually, I'm really not sure. It was just one of those things that you take for granted, not being, and sure enough,
Oh.
I do. Can't play it, but it's there. There's plenty of time to
Well, now
learn
there's
it.
another instrument, that's the sax.
Yeah, we're
You can show you how to think your way through it.
How about you?
We're both only children, that's why we can stand each other.
That's true. I don't know.
We're both last born.
Oh,
We're both
nice.
last born, yeah.
Nice.
Last born of how many?
Oh, I had a brother and a sister.
Okay.
I had
The
eight.
last-
There were 8 of
I
us.
come from a family of
I was the 8th.
My mom came from a family of 7, that's enough.
Yep.
But how, why is that? She's last born, I'm last born. You're solo flights, both of you?
Mm-hmm.
And how about your parents? Are either of them, besides being interested in videography, is there instruments or singing in there somewhere?
Well, my mom was a singer, and I learned how to play jazz, sort of. I still don't really play jazz, but because she was she loved Johnny Mathis,
Okay.
and she used to like to sing all those things,
Sure.
all those songs. So we're just.
Cool. Ooh.
Fly me to the moon.
Woohoo. Woo.
I had to learn how to play jazz to be able to accompany her, and then that's kind of how I.
Did she do it commercially or just?
No, she
around
she
the family?
she just always wanted to be a jazz singer, and until I picked up a guitar and was able to learn how to play all these weird chords, she couldn't sing for anyone. Because my dad played, but he didn't play jazz. He played folk, so he was all about the. Now he could do that really well, but when it came time to being like, look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten.
Oh,
That
like
was
you, they had a flexible
Woohoo.
sound, smart flexible
Yeah.
sound.
So he wasn't about that. So my mom's singing career started when I learned how to play for her, and we actually performed together for about 3 or 4 years regularly with that. And I still play with her every once in a while. She still
Oh,
sings,
that's nice.
and we perform at the Woodstock Farmers Market. That's about all we do there.
That sounds like fun.
I do
Woohoo.
about 220 shows a year, so that's about all we have time
That's
for
a
with
lot
her.
of
So
shows.
Wow.
yeah, you got to do a lot.
I have done a fair share of traveling. For I never flew even until like sophomore year of college. Didn't go out of the country until after college. So in that time, went to Europe a couple times. At the time I was dating a conductor who had a bunch of guest gigs throughout the country. National Symphony, Philadelphia Orchestra, a lot of big names, and so I went along, got to see behind the scenes what goes on, what actually makes the orchestral machine really work, which is a lot. It takes quite a bit, and I accompanied Houston Symphony on their tour to Europe.
Nice.
Well, actually, it was England and Scotland, and yeah, but just seeing and absorbing, and that was straight out of college, so it was a great time to just kind of get an idea of.
But did you have an opportunity to actually see things on your own, or?
I mean, over the years, I think every time we go on a trip, there's always, except with you, it's different. But we travel together. I don't know if it's because one of us is gonna get lost or not, but no, but to go out, it's possible. Don't lie. He's giving me the look. I'll hear about it later. Anyway, but to just go out, walk around, kind of see what's going on, get an idea about, whether it's, hearing what's going on in a pub in Scotland,
Oh, that's
what's going on
nice.
the street corners in a different country. Or,
You know how many
it's
people
nice.
we've had on the show that have actually done, do you think it's affected your musicianship?
Ooh. It makes you more humble. No, that's for sure. Yeah, it's nice to see that the picture is so much bigger than you originally think of what's out there, what you can do, and it's almost paralyzing to an extent of the opportunities. Like, where do you start? Where do I go? What should I do first? I won't be prepared for that unless I do this, and you spin, you spin, but you still get to see, like, wow, I'm gonna do that, and you kind of through that find what really brings you alive, and then try to focus on those little areas. So it's been good.
Well, that's good, very good. How about you, Judson, have you traveled much?
A little bit. I was fortunate enough to be able to do a quick tour of Switzerland, as in quick, as in we played 2 nights, but I was with an African-American country artist by the name of Casey Williams, and we went, he's a cool guy, we went with a transatlantic band. We had 3 musicians from America, and that was fun. 3 musicians from America and about 4 musicians from Germany.
Okay.
And we flew into Germany and we went and played in Switzerland. That was fun. So that's the only time I went to Europe for that. And it's exactly like you said. We were there. We were with the bus. We got off the bus. We went and played. We went back to the hotel where we were staying at. We got 3 hours to wander around. That's about it. What?
Look, I put my finger up and you're quiet. I like that. That's a new trick. I'm gonna try that again. No, I'm just kidding. That's the first that's ever happened. I was just gonna say, I was gonna point at you actually, because he did agree to go to Europe next year, in the first half of next year, hopefully May, hopefully with our bassist Greg and his wife Becky, and just kind of find some nice venues and see what the market. We've heard the market is really great over there for country at the moment.
They
so
love American country
it's
music,
just-
which is weird because the Germans play American country music better than we do.
Really?
When I was there with Casey, our opening band, I'm listening to them and I'm like, that guy's a way better guitar player than I am. You know? But they like, you know, it's from another, you know, just like, I'm sure, you know, like, you know, you see a Russian violinist or something, it's like, wow, they got that cool vibe, you know, they can play all that. Even though it's like, you know, they're just people, you know, but when you're from someplace else, you got that accent and that different. So, you know, same thing, it's weird, like, we think people from other countries are exotic, but then they think we're exotic.
Yeah, but you know, like, in some cultures, perhaps like in Russia, from what I've heard, when they study music, they study very little else. I mean, they really put their lives into maybe 10 years of studying music with their instrument, or maybe more than what
They don't get.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, so it goes both ways. Like, we have this, like, oh man, that machine, and then they have, like, wow, you guys got all this space, and you just do your own thing, and you invent so many styles of music. Like in France, they play jazz better than us, but we invented jazz.
Right.
So it's like, you know, you gotta have both. There's definitely a place for the United States of America. Global arts.
Do you think you could maybe lay one tune on us before we have to take our break?
Let's do it. Cover.
Yeah. Sounds good. What do you think?
Karazik.
Karazik and Judson Brown of the Judson Brown Band. Am I correct about that?
Yes, you are.
All right. I don't think I'm going to take any more of a break than that. If you guys would be kind enough to lay a tune on this, that would be greatly appreciated.
All right.
Do a cover of some Train.
That's cool. That's really excellent. I gotta tell you.
Very common thing. I could be just Judson. Nobody uses that, right?
What did you? I've got Colleen's more or less summary of her experiences, and she's like, you know, been to what was it, ISU, where you studied music. You got a master's there in music,
Yes.
and she's been participating in summer festivals, won several performance scholarships, and played with professional orchestras. You're talking about flexible here, and you've worked for composers. Anybody that you would recommend?
Yes. possibly not yet. There we go. We'll put the yet on it. My friend Brian Brownberg, he's still composing. He's done a lot. So we would do a lot of premieres for him. We did world premiere of an opera for Nancy Van de Beek down at ISU. That was a big production. A lot of faculty and stuff were signed on for that. So there have been a lot of random things, rock band recordings and the like, but that was all on viola. And so now I'm transitioning into this fiddle violin world. That's
And so that's pretty interesting. And you said currently you can be seen in Illinois and Wisconsin playing fiddle and singing with the Judson Brown band and Melon Cougar. So Melon
Yes.
Cougar is like a tribute band?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay.
John Cougar tribute band. It's great. They go everywhere. Illinois, Indiana.
Ooh.
So that's with Don Wilson and a bunch of other great guys. So yeah, things I never thought I'd do. That's a bonus. But it works. It
Well, what
works.
kind of- that's rock music, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's I don't even know what percentage. Probably like 85%.
Cool. Woo!
It's whatever that is.
Awesome.
Close. Yeah. 85% covers. Camp covers. So doing with their kids. I get hired out by school districts, individual schools, other random groups to come in, either do clinics with classical music and that sort of thing, either preparing them for some sort of big audition that's coming up, or just discussing the classical world, what to expect. I've done ones discussing what to expect going into college as a music major, which is an adventure and a half. But yeah, so it's always something a little different, either all strings or violins one day, I'll do violas and cellos one day, so kind of across the board, very flexible, just
It
see
says
what
here,
they need.
sectional leader, what's a sectional leader?
That would be for youth orchestras around the state when they are preparing for a big concert. And a lot of these usually are very difficult for young players, especially middle school, high school. And these are not the dumbed down arrangements by any means. So it takes a lot of prep, and not everything can be done during the big rehearsal time. So it'll be taking a group of instrumentalists out, usually violas per se, and working on specific passages, very difficult licks, discussing ways for them to practice it and improve it better. So it's kind of like a giant group lesson for the duration. And they go back, everyone, the other instruments are doing the same thing with other leaders, and bring it together and improve the product overall. So yeah, it's different. So I remember having
They
that.
have a really good ear for that.
Yeah, it's an adventure. But I think of when I was sitting in the chair and someone was, running the clinic, and it's kind of like, ooh, okay. It's a challenge, but you're trying to cater to every individual in the room over, the 2-hour span, and hoping that they walk away with something good.
A bunch of
And-
intelligent, sensitive individuals, and you can't say anything too harsh or
Right,
anything.
right. Hate
Find
you
a way
in the
to
room, yeah.
encourage them to
Right,
correct
right.
whatever they're doing.
It's not easy. No one's perfect, especially in the instrumental world. There's no such thing as perfection. So
Which flows into the next thing that says here, judge.
are bawling my face off because I screwed up the very last thing that I was doing so well. No, and I remember the stress, and it's a lot for IMEA. I believe you talked with Susie.
Miller.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
She was on our show in January.
yes, so I heard a little clip of her talking something about the All-State and down in Peoria and that sort of thing. So yeah, IMEA, big competition every year. High school is the biggest stress.
On our show, our Facebook page got 21,000
I'm gonna be
hits.
saying that
That's crazy.
that's insane. If we bring 10, we'll be happy. And my parents, your parents, they'll click, right? Okay, good. So we're, I know Susie and Miller know, but yeah, but it's a lot of judging for that. So you see these kids come in for 10 minutes, not even, sometimes just 5, and you're trying to judge them as a whole. And the tough part about that world is it doesn't matter how great of a player you are. You can tell some have excellent tone, they've really practiced, they have superb technique, and they go in there and they just fall apart. And yet they shake, they
Yeah,
cry.
That's right, it's that
what are you
particular
doing?
occurrence on that particular
Right,
time,
right.
that nothing else that came before it or will come after it really relates to it at all. they're on their own there, and you know, sometimes it works well and
Right.
sometimes it doesn't.
Right, and there's a learning curve for that entire process for sure. But you know, trying to just you know, judge them on their tone, how well they prepare the music, the technique overall. So what's better the group? They go play a district concert in the fall. Then the top of the top for the district all gather in Peoria early the next year for a big all-state conference, and fantastic players. And you know, a lot of them are going to go into great things. And yeah, so it's just trying to pick them out as you go, and it's stressful, but it's like it's not personal, it's business. That's what it
course.
comes down to.
Could you guys maybe lay another tune on us? Are you with us there?
The being quiet is killing them, I'm sure, right? Yeah.
What do you call that?
I know. What would you like?
All right. You know,
Let's do something we've done before. Go with that one?
you ready to start playing games with me? That's right.
Sure.
Well, let's see. Let's do one that we. No, I want to do that one last.
Okay.
That one has a high B in it.
What would you like?
Let's do Dreaming. That's a good one.
What's it called?
It's called You've Got Me Dreaming, or Got Me Dreaming, or maybe Just Dreaming.
It's still in the works. This is still a very new song, but this one will be on the EP as well.
Now, this is between the two of you, a little collaboration.
This one is all you too.
It's Judson Brown.
I'll let you know when I had to say so.
Okay.
That's
All right. All right. Here we go. 2, 1, 2, 4. It's my glory days by a decade or more. You came into my life, blew off the doors like a meteor through the night sky, waking up with new eyes for the first time in a long time. Spend each day running from the last, watch the sun coming up, but it sets too fast. Oh, waiting on something more, getting by is a cold war, and there's not a lot worth fighting for. You got me dreaming, you got me beaming, walking on a tightrope weaving, first time in a long time, I love the feeling, run away on a freight train, dancing in a warm rain, washing down with a love that I can't believe in. You got me dreaming. You're running in place, I was doing my best. Never put much stock into my I guess. Oh, we run it every day like a disc man stuck on replay. Never liked that song much anyway. Yeah, I don't wanna be famous, I don't wanna get high. I found a thing I wanna do till I die. Oh, always trying to break through. Happiness is a strange brew, and I'm the man that's loving you. But you got me dreaming, you got me beaming, walking on a tightrope weaving, the first time in a long time, I love the feeling, run away on a freight train, dancing in a warm rain, washed down with the love that I can believe in, and you got me dreaming. You got me dreaming, you got me beaming, washing on a tightrope weaving, for the first time in a long time, I love the feeling, run away on a freight train, dancing in a warm rain, washing down with the love that I can believe in.
Okay, so it's a song that I've never heard before. I think the song has hooks. I mean, like, there are some groups that when they try to play a couple of cover songs that they think are popular because they want to get hooks out into the audience, and then they come up with some of their original stuff because they think now that they're happy with us that we've played the cover songs successfully and they've accepted us as having this talent. Now we can play our own stuff, and they may not like it, but they're there now for us. But a song like that, I think you could play it for an audience that's never heard you do any popular country music, and they would dig it because it's cool. I mean, it has its own hooks.
Cool. That's the goal as a songwriter, to get that reaction from an audience. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I was at the Lake County Idol singing contest. I was one of the judges in the last. There were 4 rounds of judging. I only was participating in the last round, but there were like 2 participants that had the gall to do their own original songs, and everybody else did covers, and they were just so damn good. I mean, they created the hooks. They got you into the song that day, right then and there, and you loved it. And it's very cool when that happens. It doesn't happen a lot.
That's the hard part.
That's the trick. It's weird. It's like there's a formula for doing it, making a song with a hook, and nobody tells you what that is.
Well, yeah, it's not
It's not, and just because that formula worked once doesn't mean that's gonna
true.
work for you again.
Right.
But and sometimes I'll write songs with the formula. That one I pretty much just that was like only a couple weeks old. I just had the idea for it.
That was the first time putting a fiddle on it too. So
That is the first time putting a fiddle on it. I recorded the demo with all guitars because she wasn't around. But then we wanted to do this one today, so I wrote out the fiddle part, and
it's kind of the goal. I mean,
she sight read it just now, so
it's evolved. Like what we have going for this EP is it's hard to write what you're not. And it's like, oh, well, bro country, that's really popular. I should write a lot of those songs. Oh, but I'm not happy because it's not really me. So, but the sound that you are, well, I'm staring at Judson. The song that you are, let me just compliment you endlessly on radio. No, but the sound that you have developed.
Did you hear that? There's the sound of a bunch of dials just tuning to
Yes. No. But the sound, we can't say, like, people say, oh, what does your new stuff sound like? Well, I don't know. It's a mix of A, B, and C. There's no real comparison to the collection that's been cranking out of his brain. So, I mean, it's good, though. It's good. I mean, that's the goal, is to do that and then hope that people listen and it's not so outlandish that they'll be offended
Well,
by it.
just like, there's...
Right, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, if you still listen to, rock radio, contemporary rock radio, not classic rock radio, you'll see a lot of modern bands covering, Bad Company by Bad Company, or covering Dirty Diana by Michael Jackson. And these songs they're metal versions of these songs. I mean, what some of you may even consider heavy metal, even though metal's just the worst with defining their subgenres, and if you get them slightly wrong, you're crucified. But yeah, it's true. Like, well, I probably 7, because I started writing when I was a piano player. I wrote my first song, the Ditto song, on the piano. Let's see if I can do it.
Let's hear it.
It had Aberdeen bass, which I can't really do on a guitar, but I can play fingerstyle. Yeah, okay.
You wrote that when you were 7. Get out of here.
He's got it.
I've never played it on guitar before.
Would you do this for a class assignment or just on your own?
I just wrote wrote it. I can't. It's weird because you'll see on an iPad that I write music. I don't really sight read music, and I didn't back when I played piano either. So I would be writing my own things and just knowing how they go. But you put music in front of me, and I get it. You know, let me look at it for 20 minutes and figure out. Oh yeah, FAC. Okay, that's the note there. You know, I could do that. I was never the guy that could read. I can read now for guitar, but I was never a sight reader. I was always just like, I'm just gonna write my own stuff. So yeah, I wrote my own songs rather than listening to. I think I was probably I'd been probably taking a year and a half. So I might have been 8.5 when I wrote that song. It was still, yeah, I found it easier to write my own stuff than play something somebody else wrote.
Did you go on to college?
Yes, I did.
Where'd you go?
I went to Columbia College and majored in acoustical engineering.
In Chicago?
Yes,
Did you graduate?
I did. You'd think I'd have a real job, right? But I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to give up on music. I figured if I got a real job, my musical progress would stop. And I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's not what I did. So.
We got over 250 jobs a year, so that's a lot of work. Although they say that the field for acoustical engineering is wide open, right?
Quote unquote is
Having
is
too much
that
fun?
well, I'm having too much fun and never had a real job. I've always made my money through music. So people look at that and say, "Come on," but you know. Fortunately, my band Bella Cane is incorporated, so I actually do have a job. It just happens to be with the band.
You're a corporate mogul.
No, I mean I don't own Bella Cane, but
understand.
the band is incorporated, so I actually work for a corporation. It just happens to be as a guitarist.
So, now, how long have you been
That's
with
awesome.
Bella Cane?
4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what'd you do before that?
Whatever I could. I taught a lot. At one point I had 50 students a week, which is weird because I was not a music major and I was self-taught, which means I didn't know how to play when I taught myself, and I probably messed up a few students, but I probably inspired a lot more.
You're not
So-
supposed to say that, right?
No, I know I did, because there's some things that you don't know about how to teach when you never took lessons, but then there's other things you don't know even if you did take lessons.
Sure,
'Cause
of course.
a lot of teachers teach wrong, and I teach very little now, but I like to think that I actually, anyone that comes to me, I can actually help and actually tell them what they need to work on to improve their technique. Whereas I don't think a lot of teachers can, especially on the guitar, because there's so many different ways to play it.
Sure.
And this is all stuff that you learn over time.
How long did you teach?
Since I graduated college, so in 2006. So I've been teaching since then. I just teach so much less now because.
So how did you get into Bella Cane? Did you have to audition for that, or did they invite you?
They saw me playing at this club in Wisconsin called Sly Fox to about 20 people. And I went up and I was going through the audience and I said hi to this guy and I'm like, "You look like you play something," because he's looking at my drummer's drum set. And then he said, "Yeah, my name's Rob, I play for Bella Cane." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, sounds good, I hope you enjoy the show." And he went and listened to us, and then the next day he called me and said, "Hey, our guitar player sucks, you should play out." And it changed my life in that I could make a living as a performer for the first time. And, and I still didn't consider myself a good guitarist at that point.
Although
But
you've been teaching for 4 years already, so.
yeah.
Do you have a recording studio of your own?
Yes, I do home recording. That's what for my demos. And then when it comes time to actually do the LP, I'm working with a studio out in LA to get the drum tracks and mastering and record.
You want to
No.
name the studio you work with?
I don't know the name of it yet. I do. Graham told me
You know
what
who,
studio.
Graham Butler.
Yeah, Graham Butler is the. If you want to check out Graham Butler, he has a recording that he released, I think 2 years ago now. It's called Dread Fascination, and he is the. He's the producer on it. He had he was the composer and producer on that one, and that's his kind of his opus. I saw this kid work on it for 7 years in order to complete it, and it's fantastic. It's progressive rock. If you guys like that, check out Dread Fascination by Graham Butler. It's amazing. So now he's working with me to do my EP.
That's cool. That's cool.
Try the instrumental? No? Oh, no.
We talked about this, I swear we did.
We're just working on some artistic differences.
That's how it works.
Constantly. Now you have some Mark O'Connor, I might do that in a bit. So let's do,
Very lovely. Now, earlier today you said something about preparing yourself for some sort of an audition, or more than one audition?
a couple auditions, classical auditions at for viola. So these couple that are coming up are one in Madison, one in Milwaukee.
For what orchestral groups?
Madison Symphony and Milwaukee Symphony.
Cool.
So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, but that process is never what you think it will be by any means. So.
What do you mean by that?
A lot of preparation, a lot. It's very, I don't know, I think a lot of people think, oh, they heard you play at blah, 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 they think you're really good, you should, they'll invite you to join. That does happen in the really, really big groups. Someone, say Chicago Symphony will solicit some, an oboe player from, like Houston Symphony or something like that.
Okay.
Offering them a package. But for the rest of us who are just starting out,
Ordinary mortal.
Right,
musicians.
yeah. You receive, first you have to be accepted based on your resume, or see if you're legit or not, or if you put the time into it, and 2 degrees, hopefully I can get an audition or two, but you are given an excerpt list of, I've had an audition that had like 18 different excerpts on it, from major symphonies, major works, sometimes not so major that they throw at you in the later rounds, but first round, and Judson came with me to one audition, and it's intense. So sometimes you have to just draw a number, and of course I drew number 1. Why not? Yeah, that was. I couldn't go on
I
best.
hate that. Don't you hate that? You want to hear a couple of other people screw up first.
I know.
No,
I know.
the process is designed to break you.
Well, it does end up breaking
Wow.
people, but no, and you go in, they give you a first list of maybe like 5 excerpts. If they hear your tone on the first one, they don't like it, all you hear from behind a screen, they never see your face either, is thank you, and then you're done. So it's like an
Oh,
instant,
no.
You're out. Yeah, and even if
Goodness,
you
that's rough.
get through the first,
These musicians play hardball.
they do, they definitely do. And I think it's even worse for wind players, because look at the number of seats available, for like a violin section versus, an oboe or a tuba or, anyone. And
Sure.
moving the brass,
Versus-
but no, and if you get chosen for the next round, you have to go back, play different excerpts. If you get chosen again, you have to go back again, and from there they can decide. So it's a very nerve-wracking process overall. But
The competition's as brutal as professional sports, except in professional sports, there's hundreds and thousands of athletes retiring every year, but
Sure.
in music, you can do this
Just
crap
do
until
that
you're 80.
forever.
You know?
And some organizations will want a specific kind of person. Like I took an audition with Toronto Symphony a few years ago, and everyone at that audition, and it may have just been my time slot, but from what I saw, was exactly like me. Either fresh out of school or still even toward the end of school, young, moldable. A lot of organizations don't want, they want to have a say-so in how your sound is formed. Like Philadelphia Orchestra is very famous for their string section and the tone that they get. And so they don't want someone who's going to come in with either too powerful, too meek. It's all about blending. Even if you play every single dot on the page perfectly, they may not. They just don't like your instrument. There's always that risk as well.
Holy
So
mackerel, there's too many variables there.
they're
And
yeah.
once you're in, I like Judson's analysis, because like with sports, they can break any bone in their body anytime at all.
Okay.
And then they might not be able to play again, but here, if they don't get carpal tunnel, they're there
Right.
for life.
Oh, there are lifers, definite lifers. And I mean, Chicago Symphony. If you read the bios on the website, you can see some. I mean, and then it's not only here. You have the international database of musicians that are coming for these auditions.
I've heard that some of the second and third chairs really may not be of the same quality at all, but yet they keep them forever and forever.
Right. It's all about the contracts. There's some processes that are debatable where people can get essentially voted out or gently nudged out. I mean, each organization is different, but in general, there's a lot of times a 1-year trial period, and then the section leader and the players board and everyone will decide if that person is worth hanging on to. And even some of I play in a couple orchestras downstate, Peoria Symphony, Heartland Festival Orchestra. It's not quite as tight. It's a friendlier environment for sure, but the caliber of players is still fantastic. But the strictness of the contracts, that's when you're talking about like Chicago Symphony, where they're making, the last chair second violin is making well into, 3 figures a year. And they have an excellent benefits package, and you have your reputation to protect at that point. And, yeah.
You mean
As-
6
as-
figures?
Oh, yeah. What I said, yeah. No. Yeah, definitely over that. But it's a great job if you can get it, for sure, and you should definitely stay.
Isn't there is there a musicians union anymore?
Yes.
So doesn't the union provide some sense of security?
What is
Or is it
security in our world? I don't know.
insecurity?
No,
You specialize in insecurity.
No, union. I'm laughing. Well, my work used to have a union, For people that played in bars, you were in the union,
Okay.
And it's laughable. You at least still have one.
It's different, yeah, no, and it's good for things like I am not in the union right now. I don't have a job that expects me to go in at this moment, so I'm just gonna kind of hold off on that. But for rehearsal times, you can't go over this many minutes. I remember when I went accompanying Houston Symphony on tour, they were counting the minutes on the bus until the point where they would get their overtime paid because we were stuck in traffic. Like, it's very, they do not waver. You don't go 1 minute over rehearsal time, or unless you're going to pay them overtime. It's those rules apply across the board for any orchestra. It's a professional orchestra, so it's intense. It's really intense, and you think, oh, orchestra, great, everybody gets together and plays some Brahms, and it's awesome. And it's true, but it's a business, it's a machine. It's just it gets intense. So,
Well, good luck with you.
Thank you. Yeah, breaking in is once you get the first one, hopefully the others will follow. So.
Well, could I ask you folks to play one more tune before we're going to have to kind of move towards wrapping things up? You guys figure on playing Double Down to Georgia today,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that
We have
one.
a
Everyone likes
pile
that
of
song.
things. Oh my gosh, we were actually over-prepared.
Mm-hmm.
This is shocking. This is good.
Well, we might have time for one more after this, but I'd like to.
I may not.
Yeah, I know you like that one. That would be nice.
Well, I saw you perform it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a Jesse Oaks recording. Our friend Gary. put that
Shout out
That
to
was
Sean
great.
from Jesse Oaks.
All right. Speedy today?
I think Marge might be here, so excuse me for just a second. Yes? Marge Simpson is with us today. She's in the studio. And I had one question for you, Marge.
Yes?
Last time you were on the show, you left Homer in the car on a 91-degree temperature day with no air conditioning on because the car was turned off to preserve
And the windows
gas.
were rolled up.
I understand these things. How is it, Homer?
Well, actually, when I got out to the car that day last week, I discovered that my driver's side window was broken and Homie was gone.
Do you think he escaped? He broke out?
Well, my first thought was he left me, but he's too cheap to pay for a new window.
He would rather endure the 91 degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
okay.
knew that wasn't the case. And then I noticed there was a sticker on the passenger side window. So I walked around and I saw that it was none other than the Humane Society. They had broken my window, snatched my Homie, and slapped a sticker on my
No, they broke
car.
your window and saved your Homie.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. I'll tell you what, though. It sure has been peaceful at home without him.
I was just going to say, how's Homie been?
Homie, well, we haven't had a chance to pick him up yet.
So he's sitting at the Humane Society.
I think so. Actually, I was going to ask you, do you know how to find the Humane Society from here?
Well,
I don't have that MapQuest thing.
We'll
and
have to
all
look
that.
at. Call the library. They'll give you directions.
Oh, good idea.
They have a service like that.
Well,
But
all I know is no one, Bart, Lisa, no one has seemed to have missed him. The time just flew by. One day, a few days ago, I heard Maggie say, da, 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 and she pointed to the door. I thought thought she was singing some new hip-hop song. But now that I think about it, she probably was looking for her dada.
That's right. Well, I hope that you find him in good condition. Now, he is a cartoon character, so he's pretty durable, I would have to
Well,
think.
yes, and I know, they could charge rent, I suppose, over there. But how much rent could they charge? He's two-dimensional, Alan.
It would have to be only 2/3 the price of a three-dimensional person.
I would think so. I've actually been waiting for them to ship him home by mail. I keep looking, and I can't find him. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to pay the postage.
It could be. Well, thanks for coming on the show today.
Sure. My pleasure.
I'm going to... Go ahead. You want to say something else?
No, I really need to find that Humane Society. I'm going to go look for it.
Okay.
World has changed.
That's
so
been
many
It's
things.
been a weird. I mean, it hasn't even been a year, but it's been. Yeah, a lot of stuff came up. We
Yeah.
At that time, your career was like kind of getting in the getting started phase.
that was right before Fracture came out, wasn't it? Yeah, November would have been like a month before we released
I
the
think so,
last
yeah.
album.
And since then, there's been this myriad of events gearing your professional momentum into high gear. The last time you were here, I learned that you folks were from. I just want to recap a few facts so we don't have to redo the interview. You guys are from Hannah, Illinois, a little town 15 to 25 miles outside of Peoria. And
We
then-
actually moved now too.
Okay.
We're from Rockford now, so
Moving on up.
it's kind of a downgrade. Rockford is pretty scary actually.
And that you never played in Hannah because there's really no place to play in Hannah.
Yeah, no.
But you did play in Peoria and Grays Lake and a number of other kind of cool venues. And we also learned, this is my opening question. Now, there was a horror movie in which Alicia got to play an unreconstructed zombie for about a second and a half, which was
Yeah.
fun, and for
Oh
which
yeah, it was really fun.
you guys were commissioned to write a tune called What You See. The movie was called Trail of Blood, but it had not yet been released as of the time of your last appearance in a nutshell. So my question is,
It's still not.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No idea what's going on with it. They kind of
think
stopped
they're-
talking to us.
I think they're still doing it.
I really have no idea. It was kind of like we kept talking to them and they kept saying it was,
It
oh,
was
it's in
in
the
production,
works.
and
And then they just stopped altogether.
2 years
talking.
later, here we are, and we're like,
they're gonna miss the boat on horror movies.
Yeah.
Because, like it doesn't
Especially
last
zombie,
forever.
yeah. Because right now
But,
zombies are really tough.
but as far as I'm aware, I think your your scene is still in there, where you're in there for like a
Well, I'm
a
in the
second.
trailer, so no matter if the movie actually comes together,
You were
my part's
yeah,
still in the trailer. So
Cool, cool.
still Oscar worthy though, definitely.
Well, can I ask you guys to do a tune for us?
Sure.
yes, you
Please.
can.
So this one is one of our ones off our new record, Breathe, which comes out Halloween of this
Halloween,
year, I
yeah.
believe, tentatively. This
Speaking
is,
of horror movies, go ahead.
Yeah, right.
so this is a song called Damage Done.
Picture an image that could take you to a place far away, where the world is nothing but a song.
That was Damage Done by London Has Fallen. And this is Al Weissman in a nutshell. And it was very excellent. Thank you very much for that performance.
Thank you.
And when you last visited, in a nutshell, I believe you mentioned that at that time you were working on a new release, which you just mentioned a few seconds ago.
March?
Yeah, I think it was in March. That's why we moved to Rockford, so that's
Yeah,
why.
so we signed with them and we moved up there, and then a couple months after that, we released the new Into the Night EP, which is free on our website, so you can go to www.londonhasfallenband.com and get that for free. And
Which
then-
our sound used to be like rock, but now we're kind of more electro rock. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we
the song we
definitely
just
changed
played
a
doesn't
lot.
really sound. I mean, it sounds like this the way we did it acoustic, but it's got like a ton more instruments and stuff to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like synths and instruments I
Yeah,
built
it sounds
and
pretty
weird stuff,
awesome.
Cool.
and then
So everybody's gonna have to download your sounds in order to really appreciate the full depth of the
it's
situation.
it's really an interesting one because like with Fracture we were I mean from Peoria, a lot of the Peoria bands are like heavy metal and whatever, so you know we kind of had these concerns of like, well, we're gonna need drummers and bassists, so you know we kind of had to keep things contained to like what we could actually pull off
Sure.
live, you know. But after, you know, firing like 20 people and another 50 of them quitting, we just kind of were like, you know what, like whatever, let's just do whatever we
And we
want.
thought about doing backing tracks for like a rock sound, but then it was like that
It was
might
just
look a little
weird.
weird. So it looks a lot cooler with like lights and having the electro sound.
Yeah, because our new show, we've got like this whole DJ type setup thing, but I'm also doing all these like synthesizers and sample machines and there's like lights
sounds and
and
looks
stuff.
really,
It's
really what we had sent in our new EP. So the new music that we sent in was
Yeah, it
like
was
what
basically
he
that.
heard.
And it was an earlier version, but you know, a lot of things changed just because, you know, we were like, we just sat down and we were just kind of like, you know, at a point of like, let's just make a record that we want to do and just not worry about, you know, can we actually.
And this label
do
doesn't
this.
really like it doesn't really put its hand in the like
Yeah, I
it,
was gonna ask you, did they
doesn't-
sit you down and give you the big talk or something, or?
no, I mean because this label doesn't put any money behind us, they don't really have a say in what we do.
What,
You know, 'cause they're
do
not
they
paying
get
for
you gigs
anything.
or something? Or?
Sometime, I mean, for
We've done like distribution through them and stuff, so that's been really good.
distribution is
biggest
the
thing.
main like good
And
thing to
then
have
We've worked with them
through
to do
iTunes and
some
stuff. They help us do that.
partnerships and things like that, yeah.
And plus, it's nice to have like to say you have a label because people are more inclined to
People take you a bit more seriously.
like they'll read your email if you have a label, but if you don't have a label, they're just like.
Okay, well,
Whatever.
that's worth something.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
It's been
definitely,
helpful, but-
It has because it was definitely the next step we needed to take.
So you're still doing your own booking then?
A lot of
Yeah.
the times,
For the
yeah,
most
I
part.
handle a lot of it.
They do some of it, but we still do it too. So it's like twice the brain power or
Yeah.
work going into it because they're also doing it. But so do we, just in case they don't get something or whatever.
Are there things that the agent requires of you?
That
doing
we
what you're
release. Isn't there like a we release 2 CDs or something?
Yeah,
like that?
2 CD deal, and then mostly just kind of keep not sucking, I guess.
Do you actually have a written contract with this outfit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2 CD deal and then appearances on interviews and stuff like that. Just kind of basically just don't break up and release 2 CDs through us.
Is there a time frame?
With it, well,
2
the
years?
contract is 2 years, so,
So we'll have-
release
Well, that
2
should be an
CDs
easy
in
one
2
for
years.
crying out
Yeah.
loud. If you can't do 2 CDs in 2 years,
Plus, Fracture counted because we re-released it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So then this releases the second one, and then we might do
So
another.
technically, we don't have to do another one, but we will because we just like do.
We
it.
write music all the time.
Yeah.
Because we just this morning before we came here we were working on a song for our next record already.
well,
Because-
I would imagine you guys are probably bubbling over with this stuff.
Yeah, we write
Yeah,
all the
we do
time,
write it.
and we're always experimenting with new stuff and new ideas. Half of them never actually get
It
finished.
just sucks when we write a song, but we're like, it doesn't really have the feel that we want for the album. So it's like, it's a great song, but we just don't have anywhere to
So
put
you know
it.
what you do? You just put it in your book. And when the time comes when there's a
That's
space
kind of
for
what
that,
we've been
Yeah.
doing.
I was recently reading one of the major artists. He wrote a song 40 years ago, and he never did anything with it. He just put it away, and he just recently came out with it. I wish I could tell you who it was and what the song is, but was somebody that you would definitely recognize if I gave you his name. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I think it's pretty common. When people
We had that
write
with
stuff
this
down.
record. We have one called "What's Come Over Me," and we actually wrote that pretty shortly after Fracture came out, like somewhere in there, and then it sat for like a year or so before we actually came back to it. And we're like, okay, let's
Yeah.
do this, just because it was such a different sound, you know, that we didn't really know what to do
Yeah.
at that point.
All right. Because I know, you know, it just seemed like after I heard that you had hooked in with this agent, like it seemed like you were like busier than rabbits in season. I mean, you guys everywhere, you know. And
Yeah.
and then when we invited you to play at the Taste of Summer in Antioch, and then you said that you didn't know if you'd be able to make it.
Yeah.
It freaked me out because I'm thinking, wow, this agent must be fantastic.
And then we've been doing stuff with a PR firm too, so they've been helping us out with a lot of like interviews and reviews and stuff like that. And then on top of, you know, all the stuff we already do ourselves and music videos and stuff, you know, we've kept busy.
I think it was mainly just that we started earlier ourselves. It really didn't have anything to do with the label. We just kind of started earlier booking because the year before that we just hadn't really started early. So every place was like, you know, we're already booked. But then we started early, so now this year.
Yeah, like some of the festivals
pretty
and
good.
stuff we had done, I mean, we had booked them 6-8 months out
Wow.
just to like ensure that we
Smart.
would be on it. It's kind of what you got to do, you know.
Yeah, for real.
Especially the bigger shows, it's like, you know, I mean, they're booked like a year before they're
Sure.
even happening.
Yeah, we're booking Antioch now.
Yeah. So yeah, you know how it is then.
Well, could you lay another tune on us?
Sure. This one is
Leave Me Broken?
Leave Me Broken. This is another one from the new record.
Oh yeah, and it's free on our website too.
Yeah, this is
If
one
you
of the
like.
ones you can get for free on the EP.
Even if you don't like it, you can still download
Yeah.
it. Because it's free.
You could
So,
download
who
it,
cares?
burn it to a CD, and then throw the CD away if you want. Whatever.
Who's inside of what is right? Caught between a lie and a web of comfort. Crawling into bed with the enemy, but I won't fall into You can take my life, but you'll never take my soul. You think I won't look back, but I'm one step ahead of you. Sleep with one eye open. I will never let you leave me broken. Faced with a choice, but I will never choose. I won't give you what you want because I have nothing left to lose. You can take my life, but you'll never take my soul. You think I won't look back, but I'm one step ahead of you. Sleep with one eye open. I will never let you leave me broken. 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 You can take my life, but you'll never take my soul. You think I won't look back, but I'm one step ahead of you. Sleep with one eye open. I will never let you leave me broken. Leave me broken. Leave me broken. Leave me broken.
nutshell. We are here today with Cameron Gorham and Alicia Gates, the two members of London Has Fallen, and that was their song that they wrote, Leave Me Broken. That's really nice. Very cool.
Thank you.
So now, are there some gigs that you guys were involved with over the summer that you'd like to tell us about?
Soho
Soho
in
was really
Springfield,
cool.
that
Yeah.
was insane.
My favorites were Soho, and we played in an anime fest because my sister's really into anime, and she was like, "You guys should totally play there." And we were like kind of iffy about it, but then we were like, "Okay, we'll do it just for you." And then we played, and we were like, "This was awesome."
It was
like,
really
it
cool.
Was
All these kids like dress up as
characters,
comic
like
book
yeah, like,
people?
well,
I
it
don't
doesn't have to
know.
be comic books; it can just
Oh.
be any character.
I don't know. I saw people from video games, so I recognized a few. But it was really cool. But it was funny because then we get up on the stage and we're playing just like a little acoustic set, and like, you know, people start coming in the door, and you're just expecting people, but it's these like teenage kids that are dressed like,
So cool. Like,
yeah,
they're
I don't know.
awesome.
They had like crazy haircuts and all this stuff. It was
And my
cool.
sister ran merch for us, her and her friends,
Yeah.
dressed as whatever they were dressed as. They were dressed as like Japanese.
We had them like out hustling in the hallways, like
Everybody
Yeah.
come in here and watch this band.
But people really loved it, so we were like, we need to get into this because people actually care and listen to music.
because I think we're doing a couple more of those next year too now,
Mhm.
so that'll be really fun.
But yeah, Soho was really great too.
What does SOHO stand for?
It's,
I honestly have no idea. Springfield something maybe because it's in Springfield, but it's a charity festival. It supports like
yeah. I don't know what
I
it's
don't even remember. It supports like a ton of different charities. So it was like it was for a really good cause. So that was really cool. But there were like a ton of people.
We were
there.
afraid there wasn't going to be anyone there because right before we went on, there was like, we thought a hurricane was coming. Like,
Yeah, it
the
was
weather was
crazy.
just awful. It was raining and windy, but then it stopped. Like
Like,
right as we
were
performed,
going
we were
on.
like,
Oh,
okay,
you
awesome.
lucked out.
And people
It was weird.
were still there, so we were
Well, it was one of the really. I mean, we were on like the main stage, so it's one of the big stages with like the backdrop and stuff.
Which
and the
is
wind
super
was coming
exciting,
right
yeah.
down that street.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was like, man, I don't want to be on that stage if that thing's gonna like blow away. I don't weigh that much, so you know I'm going with it.
It was
Was this the
super,
fairgrounds?
super
Was
cool,
this thing at
yeah.
the fairgrounds down there?
It was down like on the main drag in Springfield, like it was in
It was
the
on
town
a road.
by
Oh,
the.
so
I think it was by the old like Capitol building or
Okay.
courthouse or
They
something.
had like 2 blocks blocked off or something like that for it.
And then my dad came down to see us for that. So then the next day he took us out and we had to go see all the Abraham Lincoln.
Oh yeah.
thing.
Always love this music. All right, now we're back with Cameron Gorham and Alicia Gates, the members of London Has Fallen, and we were talking about some of the stuff that you folks. Before we get into any more chit-chat, can you play us another tune?
Sure.
Please.
It's probably. I think this is like the first time we've ever actually played this one. So
Other than when we did our live show
Yeah.
for the first time the other day.
yeah,
but
we just learned it this way like 12
last
hours
night,
ago.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, this one's called Breathe In, and it's on our new CD coming out, but it's not like available for download or anything yet.
Breathing?
Breathe
Breathe
in.
In.
Oh, breathe in.
All right. Ready? All right.
Oh, and it's about the apocalypse. Like
There we
that
go.
you're talking about.
Oh, timely.
Fire the gun. You can't take back what you've done. The world is no more. Is this what we've
cheerful tone there.
Yeah, right.
There's like really cool harmonies and stuff on it, in the like final track.
Yeah, it's
So
really
it sounds really, really awesome.
That
on
does
the
sound
CD.
cool. I see that you've got something on your list of performances called New Live Show. Debut was 8/22.
Oh yeah, the new live show. That's
Oh yeah, we played it at our friend's Reckless Endangerment's CD release party.
yeah. I
Or
recorded
EP, yeah.
Reckless Endangerment, their new EP, Red Ink and Black Hearts, and we did a show with them at the Grays Lake
Oasis?
Saturday.
Yeah.
The Oasis there, and then
We love doing shows there. It's
so we did
fun.
the new live show there for the very first time, but we got a new light system thing set up, and it's got lasers and strobe lights and
cool little light patterns.
cool
It's
little
really, really cool.
it's really fun. And then I built a big stage banner out of like PVC and duct tape.
And it fell down during the show, and
Yeah.
Cameron was like,
Naturally.
"Good thing I'm wearing pants." We were
Yeah.
like, "We need to do that at a show." He's just
But like, you
in
know,
his underwear.
behind the banner, just like have no pants on.
Yeah.
You know, Reckless Endangerment is actually scheduled to appear on In a Nutshell on
Woohoo!
September 17th.
We love them.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
that's
I shouldn't
awesome.
cancel them? Is that the idea?
No, they're super cool. We had
Yeah.
a blast
We love
recording
them.
their CD with them. They stayed over for like 3 days, and then Eli, the guitarist, got Alicia addicted to this like stupid card game.
And I still can't remember what it's called. I just asked him when we saw them the other day.
And,
I
like,
can't remember.
it-
what
it's one of
called.
those,
But it's
like-
from like it's Italy or something. It's
Yeah,
really
and
fun.
like she would not stop playing it,
It's
and then
so
as soon
fun.
as they left, she was like a crack addict. Like, when is Eli coming back? I really want to play again. And then it was great though, because at the release show, I'm up there like backlining gear and hooking up all these lights and like, because on my little stage banner, I've got these like wraparound LED lights, so it takes forever to set up. And then I'm looking over at her and I'm like, "Hey Gates, do you want to help me move something?" She's like, "Hold on a minute," and I look over and sure enough, she's over there with Eli playing that stupid card game.
It's so fun.
You
It's
cannot
addicting.
take her away from it.
Well, is this something that's going to be a recurring event? This it says New Live Show, indicating that there might be more than one of them?
Yeah, no, that's our new setup, like from
now on, yeah.
basically.
Unless like people request us to be acoustic, we're gonna.
I
And
do
if they
that.
have the equipment to run it.
Yeah, because it is a very complicated setup.
Just because we bring our own soundboard and stuff.
Yeah, so I run my own like mixing console, and then I have like the track machine, and then like a sampler and a keyboard and all this other stuff. So it's like it's a lot of cables and a lot of things that could go wrong. But like she was saying though, so we debuted the show, and we're both like just a complete nervous wreck that something's gonna break or go wrong or whatever, because we'd never actually done it yet. And then the only thing that went wrong was the banner I had made, like the little clip popped off, so it fell down, and it was like, so out of everything that could have gone wrong, like that had to happen.
That had to happen. This is for our listeners' understanding. My name is Al Weissman. You're listening to In a Nutshell, and today we're broadcasting from WHIW out of Harvard, Illinois, and we are spending some really, really nice time with London Has Fallen, Cameron Gorham and Alicia Gates. And their music is fantastic, and they're really, really nice people to talk with, so we're having some fun today. Now, I see that you've got scheduled for the day after the end of the world, on September 4th and 5th,
Yeah,
Jive in Your Ear Festival. Is that some kind of like a corn festival? Ear corn? It's not a corn festival.
I think it's a 815 local drive, right? That's the station.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they're
Oh, okay.
running in Rockford. I guess there was this festival that had gone on, and then last year was the last year that it happened. So this year they were without a festival for the weekend there,
Oh,
and then our label and 815 Local Drive partnered up to do a new one. So we'll be headlining Saturday night at 9:30 inside
Yes, that is what Ryan told us.
in the Nordlof
Nordlof.
Center,
okay.
which is downtown. in
And all the
Rockford.
I think all the proceeds go to a suicide prevention group or something like
The
that.
In This Moment organization,
Yeah.
they help cover funeral costs for families affected by like suicide.
Really?
So I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's like all the proceeds or something like that.
So we're
go
pretty
to that.
excited about that because we recently partnered up with an organization too called Love Is Louder.
Yeah, I want to talk to that, but I want to wait a few more minutes
Oh,
before
okay.
we get to that.
Not yet.
I'm really
Got
curious
it.
about that. I think our listeners are really curious.
Yeah, way to
about
jump
that,
ahead
too.
there.
Yeah, I
Come
know,
on.
I know.
No, it's
Follow the
okay.
rules.
I mean, you don't know what my thinking is, and I know that you're really anxious to talk about it, but I wanted to
I
be
think I'm
stupidity,
sure.
I just didn't catch that.
So
right.
excited.
Yeah, that one's gonna be
Well,
super
that
cool.
should be interesting. Okay. And then you've got a new music video coming up for A Light in the Dark.
We just released that when
Oh,
we
yeah, it's
partnered
out.
with Love Is Louder
Yep.
a couple weeks ago now, probably.
Are you making a couple of pennies off of this thing somewhere along the line? Because
No.
all so far everything you've said is going for charity.
Yeah, well, a lot of our stuff we give away for free because people just, I mean, a lot of our fans are younger, and younger people just steal your music.
Sure.
I mean, like, you know, every kid does that, and
Yeah.
you know, growing up, like, I was around when LimeWire like started to take off and whatever. So
Right.
And even if we did make money off some of it, we wouldn't make enough money for it to even like make a difference.
Yeah,
So it's just like
exactly,
why
I
'cause, like-
read recently
even
somewhere
bother?
that if that's, I think it was, I don't know if it was iTunes or one of those, the guy says that each time they sell $1 of music of his, he gets 0.0017
sounds about right.
Yep.
Which
We
means
just-
that they have to sell a barrel of music, and then you still don't get, much of a check anyway.
I think last time I saw something about Spotify, it was like you had like, I want to say 18 million for some reason, like 18 million plays
Yeah.
to make like minimum wage. So then, like, we actually just got the royalty check the other day, and it was for like $1.30.
Yep.
Yeah, well, from what I can gather, from what I've heard from other people, you're like way ahead of the game.
Yeah, right. No, because it's crazy because we had like thousands and thousands, like 20-some thousand streams, and then
Isn't that something?
we like the EP is free, so we had a ton of downloads. I mean, hundreds of downloads through our site, and then our label's site through the Music Box got a bunch of downloads and all this. But on top of all these streams and then iTunes sales and all of that combined, we got like $1 and some change.
Isn't that something?
So then I went to the bank to cash it, and they're like, "Yeah, there's a $2 fee to cash your check." So I was like,
They're like, great, yeah.
I just laughed and threw the check away. I was like, never
This is your
mind.
occupation. But that means that there was a lot of music that was sold, obviously.
I guess.
And
I
if
don't
somebody's
really
making,
know.
what is it, a buck a throw or a half a buck a throw?
I think the EP sells on iTunes for like $5.
I think so.
And then out of that, I think the label gets 50% or something to that effect, and then we get 50%. And then, but it's like, even though it's $5, when you pay $5 on iTunes, we get like, I don't know, $1 maybe,
Probably.
somewhere in there. And then, I mean, that's split up and, get like that $1 is split between like 40 different people. So yeah, we got like,
We're just happy to have people listen.
yeah,
to
that's
the
why we just
music.
give it away, because it's like, like, I don't
The
care.
only way we would actually make money is through merch, which we just spend that money to get more merch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's fun.
Because then we sell all our T-shirts, and then we're like, well, we need new T-shirts now. So then all the money we just made
Yeah.
goes into ordering more T-shirts and whatever.
Well, could you folks play us another tune?
Sure. Do you want to do Empty Tomorrow, or do you want to do Falling Again? Up to you.
Let's do Empty Tomorrow. So this is also available for download on our website for free. It's on our new EP. So.
It's called Empty Tomorrow.
Coursing through my veins are the shadows of all my forgotten yesterdays, and they play out like a story that I recognize, but I can't see through.
in a nutshell. That was London Has Fallen doing Empty Tomorrow. Very cool. Very, very cool.
That's probably one of my favorites off the new record. Really, it's got some great grooves to it, and there's a harp in there too. That one's really fun with some weird delays or something on it.
It's not my favorite.
It's not your favorite?
No.
Oh, well, thanks.
We don't want to have a domestic quarrel here.
My favorite song.
Let's like duke it out. Come on, let's go.
Oh no, when we sit there like working on songs, we'll both sit there and just fight over like the smallest, stupidest details of things.
Well, that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he'll be like, I love this song, and I'm like, I don't, but you can put it on the album.
Yeah, I
Like,
hate that one. Okay, whatever.
bang.
Okay, this is a musical family quarreling over their occupation, their profession, and their, what's really consuming their lives that we
yeah.
all benefit from. And it's the music. It's the dynamic of the music. That's cool.
Oh, we're so like hyper detailed with everything, and like everything has to be perfect. Like we'll sit there and re-record the same like one line of vocals.
Yeah,
for,
he
like,
gets
an
really
hour.
mad at me because I'm always the one that's like, okay, well, I was off, so we need to do it again. And
Yeah,
it's
she'll
like
be,
the
like,
50th take,
slightly-
and he's like, I didn't even hear it, like, just stop. And I'm like, no, we need to do it again.
But then I'll sit there for like 3 days working on like a piano part.
Yep.
And just to like make sure it's great, or I'll sit there and like run drums through like my tape machines and then sample it with my cell phone or something stupid, and then like I'll spend days and days just tweaking like the smallest details. But it sounds really good, so
It helps to kind of like make ourselves have a deadline. Otherwise, we would just be fixing stuff forever,
Yeah, no.
even though it's not broken. Like,
Yeah, no, if
We
we
would-
didn't really have deadlines with stuff, we would probably spend like 8 years working on an album, and we'd put all this work into it, and people would be like, that sounds really good, and it'd be like,
Well, let me ask you something. Is there any particular performer, group, individual, or whatever, after whom you guys kind of like more or less pattern yourself or aspire to sound like, or anything along those lines, or combination thereof?
we've kind of made it a point not to sound like anyone else, or we're trying not to. So
Yeah.
sound wise, no. I mean, we have really kind of looked up to what the duo. The guy looks like Johnny Depp.
the Civil Wars?
Yeah, the Civil Wars. Just because they're a duo, so we like, I don't know, see ourselves in them, even though we sound nothing like them.
Yeah, I mean, with Fracture, it was a lot more like, it drew a lot of comparison to bands like Evanescence or...
Because people will compare us to bands, but we never really even thought of them before, like
But even
before
then,
the
people
album.
say it's kind of a loose comparison, too. They're just like, it reminds me of, but...
Usually just because I'm a girl singer.
Yeah,
They
9
like
times
name
out of
every
10.
girl singer, and they're like, oh yeah, you remind me of them. I'm like, really? Wow,
Yeah, because
that's so different.
we sound just like Paramore,
Well, when you're like alone, and each of you, and in your own private place, you probably have a place like that where you can go and think and just be alone and listen to whatever music you want to listen to without the other one necessarily, put your headset on and just, what do you each listen to, respectively?
Yeah, what do you listen to? Like the My Little Pony soundtracks?
No, I listen. I mean, it sounds stupid, but I listen to like Taylor Swift and Demi Lovato. I listen to like
the top 40.
the top. I do because they grow on you, and plus they're a good beat. Plus, I usually only listen to music when I'm working out. So why would I work out to like a sappy song? I used to listen to a lot of sappy songs when I was in high school, and
was the
you know.
worst. Taste
Nobody
of
in the
music.
world would suggest that you should listen to sappy songs, really. I mean, that is
Oh,
absolutely.
dude, she had the worst taste. She'd be like,
Okay, I
just
don't
love
mean
this song."
sappy songs, but I mean like songs that like are really angry or really sad. Like in high school, you're in the car and like, you like a boy or he doesn't like you back or something, and you're just like, like singing to Kelly Clarkson, like. I mean, but now I don't do that because I have him.
I had the same thing. I was like, why won't Tommy take me to prom? Oh my god.
So now I just listen to music really just for fun.
Yeah, most of the stuff I listen to is like, I don't know, I listen to a lot of soundtracks. And like Massive Attack, I listen to them a lot. Portishead's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly just a lot of soundtracks and stuff like
Well,
that. I
you
don't-
listen to music more for like the actual music, and I
Energy,
listen to it
yeah.
more for like the memories, like in reality. Like I think back to like a time in my life that
Yeah,
I
I'm
listened to
very-
that song with like my friends or something.
I don't really
so-
listen to music, I like analyze it more, I'll sit there and listen to the same record over and over and just try and pick out the details and the...
I can
inner
imagine that
workings
if
of
you're
things.
in music all the time, you might want to listen to something that requires nothing of you.
Yep.
Because you're always
That's what I do.
worried, you're always into it 10,000%, And now you're taking a break, and you don't want to be into anything 10,000%. You know what I mean?
We kind of have that.
Plus, you don't want to, like, I listen to Taylor Swift and Demi Lovato, and our sound isn't anything like them, so I'm not comparing myself to them. It's like, if I were listening to someone that was more like us, then I'd be like, man, they're just so much better than us, and, like, just question everything, so. So instead, I listen to Taylor Swift and Demi Lovato, even though they're wonderful and I love them.
Okay.
So nothing bad.
And I'm
about them.
forced to listen to
And
the
Kelly
same.
Clarkson. I do love Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, I've heard
And
every Taylor
Christina
Swift song
Aguilera.
ever, unfortunately.
When you guys are like in your creative mode, and you're writing, do each of you like contribute? I mean, how does the creativity thing work with the two of you? Do you bounce off of each other and make a song together? Do you write your songs separately, or?
He likes doing that. He likes writing songs together. He always wants to do that, but I hate doing that. I like to just
Yeah, we have
go
a really
on my
weird
own.
work
I like
flow.
to go in the laundry room and shut the door and just be in peace and quiet because it's the only way that I can write a song. And I have to have not listen to any other music that day. Music does not help me. It just hurts me because then I just start writing something that's just like a song.
And you have
that's in
to
my
you have
head.
to remember to turn the dryer off too.
Yeah, and you're not telling me you get inspiration from the dirty underwear either. Right?
No, not the dirty underwear.
But
More
no,
from
it's,
the
uh,
peace and quiet.
It's definitely like a big back and forth because usually I'll kind of start out with a really skeleton track, with some melody and some drums and stuff to kind of establish the motif.
Okay.
And then, she'll come in with some lyrics or ideas and then we'll track those and then I go back and fill out the rest of the music and then she comes back in and we finalize that. I finalize music and then we both kind of sit there after all that's been done and then kind of
Yeah, it's easier to
shape
do our
things.
parts separately because.
This is Carl Green, original bassist and founder member of Herman's Hermits. Help! I'm in a nutshell. How did I get into this nutshell? Would you look at the size of this bloody great nutshell? What sort of shell has a nut this size? This is crazy! This is Carl Green, original
Okay,
bassist
Carl,
and founder.
enough. Enough is enough already, Carl.
Second
We
time
love
today,
you.
Carl. Come on, get it together, man.
He is such a sweetheart because he's in England. He was here for a month, and he came around to our Taste of Summer in Antioch, and he performed there. And
Just before the tornadoes hit.
yeah, just before
The whole thing was closed
It was a
down.
wipeout after
Oh,
that.
nice.
But he went back to England now. He's got an album coming out later on this year that he's been working on with a couple of guys from this Chicagoland area. But when he got back to England, I was talking to Dolores and I said, this guy, he's got the English accent. We need him to do the promo for our show. And what are the odds? So I just sent him a private message on Facebook. I said, Carl, if you get some time, if you get a chance, we'd really appreciate it if you could make us a promo. And I said, I'll send you some words, and if you feel like you're up to it, maybe you could record it and just shoot it back to us. And a couple of weeks went by, and sure enough, he shot it back to us, and it was like, wow, what a nice guy.
I'll
He
have
is such
to,
a
hit him
sweetheart.
up and have him do my voicemail just so it makes
All right.
absolutely no sense.
Could you guys lay another tune on us,
Sure.
please?
This is one called Falling Again, which is also on our new album Breathe, which comes out on Halloween this year, if we're not all dead on
Spooky.
September 3rd.
All right.
Cast aside, waiting for the next tide to carry me anywhere, anywhere but here. Falling deeper into the last memories I had of you. Where do I stand? I need somewhere safe to land. Oh,
it's fallen, so that's like
Falling again.
Falling again.
falling again. That's cool.
Thank you.
So it's like falling squared? Is that
Yeah,
it? Okay.
basically.
Now, earlier in today's show, you guys mentioned a group called Love is Louder. What is Love is Louder and the Jed Foundation? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Love is Louder is a project of the Jed Foundation, which was started by Brittany Snow, who I don't know who
So
that
she's
is.
also my
She is like a soap opera actress or something.
Yeah, I don't
She's
know.
in Pitch Perfect.
Okay, yeah.
She's
so
also in a
Alicia,
ton of other stuff.
Alicia
like
knew who she was right away. I had no idea.
John Tucker Must Die. I love that one.
Again, a classic, I'm sure, but I have no idea what
It is.
that
If
is.
you're a teenage girl.
And again, I am not.
Not there.
But-
Thank God.
Yeah, no.
Hairspray.
so-
She was also in Hairspray. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. She is in. She was in the current version.
Yeah,
that just
the-
came out a few years
The
ago.
newer version.
Yeah.
No idea. But yeah, so we partnered with them. So they're an organization that kind of promotes a collective ideology of just, a place for people to go and, understand and, help support people that feel, depressed or alone or, like have suicidal thoughts or
Basically anything that's
eating disorder. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like anything that just, a lot of people go through all the time.
like mental disorders is basically.
Yeah, and then it was big to us just because growing up, like I had to deal with like bullies in school and a lot of stuff like that. She had to deal with stuff too. So it was,
That's such a common thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, and it was like it was such a cool thing that when we heard about them because we had looked into a lot of other organizations, but we didn't really find one that we could really get behind that like really was doing something cool and different and active. So they just encourage people to get involved and just to spread awareness, but also just not in like this whole we're gonna spread awareness for this and call it a day type of way, but an active community and a network of people that you can.
Yeah, they're big into blogging.
Yeah.
So they asked me to write a blog, so I did, and you can check it out at loveislouder.com. Is
Dot
that
com,
it?
yes.
Yeah, but you're bringing up painful memories for me.
Yeah,
Because,
that
I went
was-
through 12 years of therapy, and now I never dealt with this bully that I had to deal with in second grade. He beat the tar out of me one day, and it's dredging up that memory now. So maybe I have to consult
Go
with
back
your
into
group.
therapy. Yeah, no, and it's like it's really serious stuff, and it's like it's cool because like it's something I wish would have been around when I was younger dealing with stuff like that. Just because it's like you kind of just get trapped in this like mindset, and it sucks.
It
like,
really is
does.
helpful to have an outlet.
Yeah,
And like
it's
we have music, but it's like for other people that don't have an art form that they, can express themselves with. It's nice to have a place where, you can just talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Get
And
it off your
like a lot of
chest.
our music touches on stuff like that, so it was kind of cool to find something that really matched up. So we did that new song "A Light in the Dark," which was like inspired by the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool to work with them, and they're really cool to us. So
Do
that's good.
they have like functions that you guys appear at?
They do a couple things. I'm not really sure exactly when or where. It kind of changes a lot. But they have ways for people to like host their own event, and like they're really active and into everything that people are doing. So we're actually doing a small tour around it this fall, which we're still in the process of like working on. But we're going to a couple high schools and colleges and stuff like that to kind of talk about the stuff we've gone through and how we dealt with it, and just mostly just to tell people like the stuff we wish we would have heard in high school,
Sure,
of just
of
like because high school just seems to drag on forever and it sucks, and
It's
it's
hard
like
to see that light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah
When
Yeah,
you're
it seemed
stuck
like-
in it for
It
so
seemed like when
long.
I was in those early grades, most people didn't give a crap what you were
Yeah.
experiencing. If you were being bullied or getting a hard time from somebody, there was really nobody that you could go to.
oh no, I had the same thing. Like I had teachers too that were even involved with it and like
Yeah.
doing stuff
Well,
to
a
me
lot of
that
the
they
time,
shouldn't
I
have done,
think-
and it was like
People
Sure.
just feel
Was
like
it your gym teacher? Those are the worst.
he creeped me out though, man. I'll never forget this. This is a great story. It's really terrible, but it's weird. I'm not going to mention any names, but we were in gym class and in the guys' locker room, and a bunch of the kids were screwing around, just being idiots, because we're high school boys. So my friend and I are just chilling over in the corner because we hated everybody, but these kids are fighting in the showers, and they're all naked, so it's like it's weird enough already.
Yeah.
But then the gym teacher comes in and he's like, yeah, because he's just standing there like staring at him, and he was like, when I was your age, we used to play hockey naked in the showers. Is that what you guys are doing? And it was like, what? My friend and I've never like gotten dressed that fast in my life, but we were like, dude, I'm out. Like, no way. I think we ended up like skipping school that day too. We were just
Oh
too
my
weirded
God.
out. I was like, dude, let's just go home and play some video games.
We went right to
That is
therapy
weird.
that day.
It was so weird, and it was the craziest thing, and it was like I can't, like, you know, you were just in shock that like did he just really say that?
Yeah, really.
Especially in this day and age, it's like I'm sure that was a sexual harassment lawsuit right there.
Sure.
But no, that was
That's horrible.
high school is interesting. I hated every breathing second of it.
So it sounds like it's a great organization.
Yeah, no, they're super cool.
And it's the kind of thing that so many kids in high school and in elementary grades and even beyond high school
Oh yeah, no.
would benefit from.
I mean anybody. I mean, you know, so many people go through
Anybody
issues
with mental illness or anything too, yeah, because I feel like mental illness is getting more of an awareness, but it
Yeah.
could always use more. Just because I feel like some people still don't take it seriously, which I don't understand.
Yeah, and then people just assume talking about it fixes it, like things.
Yeah,
But, you know, it's cool to see groups like this that are actually, you know, doing something, and then, you know, people that are actually able to connect, you know, on
Sure.
this whole new level, and, you know, not have to worry about being judged or whatever, because these are people going through, like, the exact same
You know, the funny
stuff.
thing is that like the psychiatrists, from what I can tell, currently are all tied up in prescription writing and in monitoring drugs that their patients are taking. They don't really give face-to-face therapy. Therapists are few and far between, you know, psychologists, and they're inordinately expensive. So where do most people, where do ordinary, you know, people of ordinary means go
Yeah.
to help them with their problems when they need somebody to talk to like
Oh,
that?
exactly. Because, you know, it's like, you know, you can do
Like,
all
if
these
you don't
drugs and
have
whatever,
friends,
but it doesn't
then-
do anything for you. Because,
yeah, because the only people I could talk to is my friends. So it's like if you don't have friends or anyone that you can really count on.
And even then, I've had friends that have gone through that where the, you know, doctors give them these pills and whatever, and it's like, you know, my friend told me about it, and he was like, you know, dude, like, I'm just not myself anymore, like, it just fried my brain out, and it's like, it's scary stuff, and it's like, you know, if people would just get together and, you know, deal with it, you know, on an interpersonal level, it does, you know, help, and it's cool to,
Sure.
you know, especially people that have gotten over it or, you know, got through it, you know, it's good to hear from somebody
You got
that,
something to share. Sure.
exactly, you know, someone that's not just saying, like, you know, it'll get better, but
Yeah,
rather
it's so
like,
important to deal with the problem like face to face instead of just pushing it aside because that's just gonna come out worse later on.
yeah,
Cool. How cool is that? That's really nice.
for sure.
Do you think you guys could lay one more tune on us?
Sure. So this is one from our last record, Fracture. This is called Fallen. So, Fallen cubed now, I believe we're at.
So
nutshell. And we are with London Has Fallen today, Cameron Gorin and Alicia Gates. And wait a second, I'm just doing a statistical analysis here.
Technical stuff here.
Very technical. And it seems like there's a pattern that I'm detecting. Because I see that among the songs that you sang today was Damage Done, Leave Me Broken, Empty Tomorrow, Falling Again, and Falling.
All happy songs.
I've got this
huh?
foundation, the Jeb Foundation, that is designed to, I mean, it seems like there's like a kind of a theme of unhappiness that goes through those songs. Am I wrong about that? Or?
I don't really write the lyrics. I can't read that good, so.
It's not unhappy, it's just emotions that I feel that I put into the music. It helps me.
Oh, I'm sure it's
Like-
honest.
Yeah,
there's
it's
no
very,
doubt about
very
that.
honest. Definitely.
That's usually what we go for. We try not to write fluffy crap.
Because I just
you
want to
hear on
write
the
stuff
radio.
that other people can relate to.
Cool.
Yeah, because that's the most important thing to us, because a lot of the bands we like are a lot like, you know, that, where the songs are more honest and real rather than just like, you know, turned down for what in the
Like just if
club and
people,
whatnot.
you know, need to know that there's other people who've gone through what they're going through. They just like need a song that fits that, you know, because sometimes you're like, I just need a song for what I'm feeling right now. So I just tried to do that.
Yeah.
So you write
I really
these
feel-
lyrics by yourself,
Hmm.
and you write the music with her.
Yeah, usually sometimes I just write the music separate and then we just
Yeah.
kind of,
And then I go in and put lyrics to the
Yeah.
music.
so it's kind of a,
Because sometimes I'll just write lyrics just because something pops into my head and I'm in a random place. But other times I just
yeah, usually
write
I'll have like,
to the music.
usually I'll have like 50 some like, you know, songs kind of like sketched out and then we kind of just
And I'll have some lyrics sketched out and then we
throw
put
them together with what fits to what and then, you know, change things from there. It's a,
Go ahead.
it's a long process. Usually a song takes about a week or so.
How many songs have you guys written, would you say?
Hundreds,
Yeah.
easily. I mean, Fracture, I think we had like
I don't think we have
180.
hundreds done, but
Yeah.
we definitely have at least like 70 done probably.
Yeah, we have about 70 songs we've done, and then
Because we got the ones from
the first record.
from when, but me too, was it?
Because we've got a couple hundred easily with like, you know, parts of songs and ideas
Sure.
or whatever. But yeah, we've probably closer to 100 now that we've started working again too. So
Probably.
yeah, it's just a lot of music, and then we kind of just pick the golden nuggets more or less out of things and kind of go, you know, this is what's best. And you know, sometimes, like we said earlier, you know, we'll cut songs and just say like, let's come back to this, you know, next year and stuff like that. But it's a fun process.
I bet. Well, do you think that your agent will eventually help you get on television?
Maybe.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, you're going to be on television, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Because this show is being filmed, and you'll be on, in a nutshell, on Comcast in the next few weeks, of course.
Awesome.
We're on Comcast in Lake and McHenry counties on Channel 17, Channel 74 in Crystal Lake, Channel 19 in some areas outside of Lake and McHenry counties. We can't tell you exactly when you're going to be on television, but all your songs are your own. And
I'll
that's
just
what
call
we
my
really
mom
look
and
for.
I'll call my mom and yell at her, "Mom, I'm on TV! I did it!"
So, but it's cool, very cool. And you guys are great. I mean, we really
Thank you.
enjoyed having you
Thank
today.
you.
Your music is really beautiful.
Always fun.
And your new album, Breathe, is available where?
Pre-orders will be on our website at www.londonhasfallenband.com, and those will start soon.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a bundle where you get like a T-shirt.
And
Is
stuff.
that
So look
Bri-
out for that.
Is that breed or breathe?
Breathe.
Huh? Oh, okay.
So it's so it's www.londonhasfallen.
LondonHasFallenBand.com.
Okay.
And then pre-orders should start soon. The album will be released on Halloween, and we will have an album release show somewhere around that time at a place and time yet to be determined.
Well, if you let us know, we'll announce it on
For
our
sure,
show.
definitely.
We're going to do that for you.
Yep.
And that sounds really cool. And I want to wish you guys nothing but the best of luck, because you're really
Thank you.
terrific people. I enjoy you so much whenever you're on the show, and your music is really fun to listen to.
Thank you.
And so I just hope that that everything works out really great for you guys.
Us too.
Thank you.
Maybe the next royalty check will be like $3 and we'll be well on our way.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
us.
My pleasure, and I hope to have you back sometime.
For sure.
I was too messed up to talk with you last night. was hoping I could call you up today. When I saw him in our bed, I don't know the things I said. Now you ask, can you come back and clear the air? Well, if you wanna come home on a Sunday, I'll send up a prayer for you. And if you wanna come home on a Friday, there's plenty of things to do. On a cold September morning, when there's dew still on the lawn.
What you got there, Marge?
Well, you know, Ellen, I was looking at YouTube the other day. I check in on it once in a while to see the song that I guess Homer posted of me. I was singing "She Works Hard for the Money." It's only like 30-second clip.
Oh, well, do you have a lot of listeners for it?
Well, when I looked yesterday, there were like 1,055 views.
Wow, that's great. I have to check it out.
Well, but just be prepared. Not everyone appreciates it. There's like a nasty comment there.
What do you mean?
Well, some guy, with the baggy pants hanging down below his rear end.
This isn't the same guy that was driving that motorcycle.
No. No, he was fully clothed. It was her that had the yellow thong with the brown spots on it. Anyway, this guy posts a negative comment.
Well, what did he say?
Well, he says, "Remove this now, mother effer."
This is a true story, isn't it?
It is true. You can go to YouTube and see it. Actually, we could post it on In a Nutshell so people can see it. It's scary.
Remove this now.
Oh, mother effer.
I wouldn't take it
Only
personally.
he said the actual
I would
word.
not take that personally.
All right.
I'm sure that there were tons of positive comments.
Well, it wasn't very nice. No, there were no positive comments. I think there were 2 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down. And I think 2 thumbs were up this guy's, well anyway, you know what his name is?
1,000 people looked at it.
1,055, yeah.
So that says something.
See?
You can imagine that every one of those, except for one,
That's right.
this guy, because he didn't look at it more than once, I'm sure. I don't think he went up there 999 times so he could reach the conclusion that he didn't like it.
Yeah.
He thought, well,
Unless he kept repeating it, and then he's like, "Remove this. I can't stand it now." He kept listening to it. No, but actually, you know what his name is? It might explain things. I don't know. His name is Poon Handler. Honest, true story. Poon, and then Handler. Poon Handler.
Quite a gentleman there. That's interesting. That explains it. He's afraid his women are going to start rebelling.
Well, yeah, I guess if he does what it sounds like he does. Maybe that's it. But, I was thinking of thanking him anyways.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Poon Handler. Or may I be so bold as to call you just Poon?
Well, that sounds appropriate for this guy.
I was thinking he might be helpful with his very constructive criticism. I have a few songs in the hopper, and I was going to ask Mr. Poon Handler what he thinks. So please do call me, if you can, Mr. Poon.
Thank you, Marge, for that.
Thank you, Alan.
I really appreciate you bringing that to
We'll
our
post
show.
that on In a Nutshell
It's
so
a true
people can
story.
see it. It is a true story, and it's frightening.
That you actually have a song posted on YouTube.
30 seconds of "She Works Hard for the Money." And I did a very lovely job.
It's a classic song.
Homer loved it. He posted it. And 1,055 people looked at it.
And one guy...
Only one negative, nasty guy. Oh, sorry, Mr. Poon. I don't mean to insult you.
Okay.
This is Carl Green, original bassist and founder member of Herman's Hermits. Help! I'm in a nutshell. How did I get into this nutshell? Would you look at the size of this bloody great nutshell? What sort of shell has a nut this size? This is crazy!
In a nutshell.